I know. Dr. Dave don't know. I know. You're in the hands of Dr. John. And you feel like a total basket case in a psych ward. And you're at your final rodeo. We're gonna open up that head of yours. We're gonna see what's in there. And place in Nolans, Evan Lunda just posted up 150,000 cash. That post was matched by a guy named Feder Gorsh. 150,000 cash. It's 300,000 in the middle. And that's not counting any side bets. So here we are. And they're gonna play one pocket. Do you think either or both are nervous? You bet your ass they are. That's exactly why they do it. Let's talk about this. I recently made a video on anger and what it is, how to control it, and it turns out it's nothing more than energy that a lot of people don't know how to control and haven't figured out how to use it for their benefit instead of destruction and their own demise. Nervousness is the same thing. It's an excess of energy, and you just haven't learned how to control it and use it for your benefit. 100 pool players walk into a tournament room getting ready for a tournament, and they all feel nervous. It's just there's different degrees of it depending on the player and how much experience he has with nervousness, which is just really an adrenaline rush of energy. And that adrenaline rush of energy, if you just, let's say we're not talking about pool, we're talking about a gambler on the floor of a casino. So you start out, betting $1 and you wind up betting, $100,000 on the roll of the dice. They need more and more stakes and more stuff on the line to fulfill the same adrenaline rush, which is nervousness and pictures of miscuing and just horrible things happening, and then just constant worries of horrible thing to you. But that same rush is a wonderful thing to them because they have learned how to control it and use it for their own benefit. So if we go back to the 100 guys in the pool room, the guys, let's say this is a $60 entry tournament. It's not a big thing. It's kind of just like a local thing. The guys that win a lot of these $60 tournaments are getting the money and do well. Are going to feel less of this adrenaline rush or nervousness, whatever you want to call it, than you do if this is your first tournament. In fact, this whole adrenaline rush thing and all of this crap that's running around in your head is making you want to quit playing pool. This is sickening, This is, nobody wants to feel like this. But you're actually wrong about that. There's people that thrive on this, and they're not getting as much as they used to out of a $60 tournament. So now those top players are considering moving on to $100 entry and $200 entry to fulfill the same energy rush that you're feeling. You just don't know how to handle it, and you're not sure what the hell it is or what's going on in your head. The key to all of it is to remember again what it is, and it's just energy. It's an excess of energy. But right before the tournament starts, take a look at let's say an hour or half hour before the tournament actually starts. Take a look at the pool tables and who's playing on them and what they're doing to handle this excess energy. And there's a lot of guys that just fire balls into the backs of the pockets at 100 miles an hour just to release it, just so it stops flying around in their head and creating negative images of, again, miscuing, not knowing what to do, getting confused, shooting wrong, all this crap that's going on in your head because you don't know how to control this energy. That's 37. And now go outside to the parking lot, and you're very apt to see something you've never seen before. And Earl does this before every tournament to handle this situation, and I'll go run it. I'll run a couple miles before each tournament to get rid of this energy. And there's a lot of guys that lift weights. They'll go to the gym. They'll punch a punching bag or whatever it takes to control this excess of energy. And when it comes to mental issues like this, the world is filled with really, really bad advice. So be careful on where you go to seek advice on this issue. And we're going to talk less about what it is and more about immediate rock-solid solutions to dealing with this, because a lot of you people probably found this video as you're dealing, as a tournament's about to start, and you're on your cell phone looking for help, and here it is. You're going to need a couple of minutes to go through this video and listen to it, but that's what this is all about. Just know for now that the more tournaments you get into and play in, regardless of how well or how bad you do, you'll get better at dealing with this, and you'll evolve into knowing exactly what to do about it and how to handle it. But for now, you need rock-solid solutions, and I'm going to do my best to give them to you. Do what the big dogs do. Utilize your green fig at a table and fire banks in at 100 miles an hour. Seriously set out to rip the back of the pocket off the table. And this has the added benefit of straightening out any quirks in your stroke. And that shaky hand suddenly gets a little straighter and a little less shaky after you make just one dead center bank shift. And that's because, again, and I hate to keep saying this, it's nothing but physical energy that you have not utilized and is left to freely run around in your brain. It's important to realize that what you're thinking is not reality, it's just your imagination, because you haven't utilized this energy. Sports Illustrated photographers are not there. They're not gonna take a picture of your miscue and write the headline, "This guy sucks." It's just not gonna happen. Okay, it's just a symptom of a problem, and you're not thinking right because you don't know how to handle this, and that's what I'm trying to tell you how to do. And that brings up an interesting point. It's important to keep your sense of humor. Try not to lose that, because that's what's going to make all this fun in the end. Alright, so keep that sense of humor. Earl has trouble controlling his mind and his emotions, and it all manifests through his mouth. Right? Everybody realizes that, right? At the same time, Earl knows what he's doing, and he's smart enough to utilize the energy that he feels to go run around the block a couple of times. The serious guys, watch guys like this, take the hint, and do what they do. Whatever you do, don't sit and fester in it. It's going to get worse. Don't just let it be like it's going to go away, because it's not going to go away. You know, I could give you all this bogus scientific garbage and just, make this complicated but it's really not complicated at all. It's really simple. Again, it's just energy. I'm going to keep on saying that until it gets through your head. You have to figure out what to do with this energy that's positive. And if you just sit and fester in it, it's just going to run around in your head and do all kinds of crazy damage. One of the things we do when we get nervous is, and this is really kind of strange, we tend to hold our breaths. We stop breathing. And I assume that this has something to do with our caveman days and something to do with drowning. And yeah, for some reason when we get nervous we hold our breath. And when we hold our breath, we deny oxygen to our brains, and that makes our brains work even less well. So we think crazier thoughts, and it just, the whole thing feeds off itself. So what happens when you're exercising and you're exerting that physical energy is you breathe. And not only do you breathe, but you breathe deep, and therefore you take care of that problem. Yeah, we subconsciously stop breathing. We hold our breath like we're about to drown. We're about to go under, Right, it really doesn't matter. It's what we do. No matter why we do it, we do it. If you go to any website or read any book on dealing with nervousness, it's absolutely certain that they're going to give you breathing exercises. But we're going to skip that because you already know it. And you can go ahead and follow that advice if you want. And it will help you. Skylar Woodward recommends this technique. But it's so cliche and so easy to find this advice on that, I don't think this video is for watered down information. So it seems like a horrible curse when you're first starting out in the pool world. It seems like, man, this is hell. This is horrible. I don't ever want to feel like this again. But it's not that. That's just more your thoughts running around in your head, uncontrollable. And it gets worse, and it really can eat at you. It can have you forfeiting a tournament. It can have you getting sick, shaking like a leaf. And you ever try to play pool when you're shaking like a leaf? Yeah, it can be a nightmare. So you're just sitting there on the bleachers, and you're hit with all this energy, and you're not doing a damn thing with it. So it's cutting loose inside your head, and it's free to do all the damage that it wants to do. And meanwhile, you're sitting there watching Bobby Pickle warm up for the tournament, laughing with his buddies, drinking a beer at 10 a.m., and acting like it ain't no thing. And how could it not be anything when it's the end of the world? Yeah, that's just the energy. It's working against you, son. You gotta get it working for you. Bobby knows. Hey, this video is getting a little creepy, so I'm gonna cut it off here. Or we could just end it with make friends with the energy. But, you know, I don't want to sound like a fruitcake or nothing. So let's get done with this and start anew. And in your time of just kind of sitting there on the bleachers, you can conclude that, you know, I just care too much about this stupid shit. You can actually get mad and turn it into anger. But if you don't do that, and you keep plugging away and keep chipping away and keep learning what to do with it and how it is and what it is, and therefore learn what to do with it, and you keep going, you're gonna look back one day and you're gonna say, damn, that was a lot of fun. And that's exactly what you want. So you, Mr. I care too much about this stupid shit, you're wrong. You can't care too much. And the glory and the whole lesson and the whole picture adds up to you getting a whole lot better and winning these stupid things. And you're gonna have the time of your life when the guy that doesn't care at all, it's gonna be meaningless to him. So that's what you want. You want to look back and think, damn, that was a lot of fun. That was the time of my life. You.